Well, hello and welcome back to our session Overcoming Obstacles. We're going to be going into our final session, number 20. So congratulations, you've made it. Here, we just got about 30, 40 minutes to go, and you will have completed the entire 20 series, 20 session. Overcoming Obstacle series. Now, in reviewing these things, if you have any questions, as always, reach out to us. And again, take advantage of scheduling your one-on-one strategy session with me. It's complimentary. If you want to get out there, it's a2bforme.info/15 with Don, and I'll pop that up at the end of the program as well. Now, today we're going to be going through some very interesting things. I'm going to back out of here, make the screen bigger for you, because today we're going through writing your own success story part 2. Now, last week we laid out some things, had some worksheets and things for you to review. So hopefully you've completed those, answered those questions, and you're ready to create your own success story. Now, it's going to be a little bit different, maybe than some things that you've ever done before. So hang in there, and we're going to tie these things together and tie the entire program together for you today. Now, you want to write a vision of your future with you as the main character, because you're the main character of your story, right? And where we go wrong in a lot of cases when I'm talking with folks in our A to B for Me strategy sessions is we find out through digging deeper that you're actually working on other people's goals. They were maybe your parents' goals, maybe some other relative, maybe your wife or your husband or significant other's goal, or just peers. You just went along with the crowd. But we want to write a vision of your future with you as the main character, because you have a good idea what a success story looks like. You've been out there, you've looked at these things, and you've read maybe, again, at A to B for Me, you've read, Darren Hardy's story, you've read Hal Elrod's story, Grant Cardone, a lot of, guys out there that you've read their story and say, man, well, they did it. Well, so you have a good idea what a success story looks like, but it's dependent on how you view yourself, your past, your failures, and your plans for the future that's really going to matter here. Because a lot of times you'll say, yeah, well, yeah, they could do it. And your subconscious is like, yeah, look at that guy, man, he's awesome. Well, he wasn't always awesome, or she wasn't always awesome. They had to grow. And so the whole point of this process is really to just rekindle that view of yourself, because you have forgotten probably a lot of the struggles that you have overcome yourself and all the obstacles that you've overcome in your life. You neglect to celebrate those anymore, because they're just in the past, and your subconscious needs to know and be reminded of those. That's really the purpose of writing the story, because we want your failures in there, and we want your plans for the future in there as well. So here we go. You've taken the time to look around and think about your past. That's what one of the processes we did in session 19. So if you haven't done that, you got to get back there and do that, because it's a very, very important process in getting the story done. So you've done the background, you've done the research, the history, the why, the significance of your life, what you're pursuing, and you've thought about how you've done things before and determined that doing the same thing again isn't going to get you the success you desire, right? I mean, if you keep just walking into the same door, it's time to turn around or find a window or something, because that's not working for you. So it's time to begin writing your story. So first thing, you just want to get out some paper and a pen to start crafting the story. Now, I know we're in the digital age, and many of you want to get out there and say, I don't even do that anymore. But there's something really, really therapeutic about putting pen to paper and seeing the words flow onto the paper. So really, really, really consider this. Get you a blank journal, and let's write your story. Because I'm telling you, a lot of you out there, you've been wanting to write something, and journaling does that. Because I've told many of you that if you just will journal for a year, you can probably go back and take that year of journaling and turn it into a book every single year. Just the things that you've done and the ideas that you've come up with. Something really therapeutic about it, but also could be very financially rewarding for you. But if you really hate to physically write, of course, you can type your story if you want to. But I'm really, really going to advise that you just write it. That way, you can take this thing wherever. I know people say, "Well, I can take my laptop where I want to." Yeah, I know, but with pen and paper, you have it all the time. You can, if you want to stop in a park, if you're on a plane, if you're at the airport, wherever you're at, you can just pull it out real quickly. You don't have to boot it up. Don't have to worry about power, and you can craft the story for yourself. Especially if you're right now we're doing this during the holiday season, so you might be on the run, maybe in a car or whatever. So it might be really, really nice just to be able to sit down and write these things, and maybe draw some pictures or whatever it is to go with it. All right. Well, instead of writing an autobiography, which we're not going to do, we want to write a story of your future as you would like it to be. Now, your goal is to write your story from a detached point of view rather than a personal one. So the only way to do that is to write it in third person. You can use a name rather than saying I did something, and it enables you to create the story any way you like. When I did my testimony, I didn't use a name. I just said there once was a man, a hardworking, diligent man, and it started out that way. And then and the reason why is because you're detaching yourself from this, and so your subconscious is really you're fooling your subconscious to saying, well, okay, this isn't about us. So yeah, I can go along with that because I'm sure somebody else could do that. And then once you get done, you can certainly go back and tell yourself, hey, that was me. And then the subconscious goes, really? Wow, that's pretty incredible. So that's why I want to do it from a detached point of view and write in third person. Using another name will help, and then you can just throw yourself back into that, or instead of just saying I did this, I did that. But this is where your story is going to begin. Now, include experiences from your past. Write about the character in this using familiar elements of your own life. I love the quote by Dennis Waitley. A lot of you know my history with Dennis, but everything that is past is either a learning experience to grow on, a beautiful memory to reflect on, or a motivating factor to act on. So when you go through and look at these things, you either had a learning experience from a failure and you grew. It's a beautiful memory that you can reflect on and be very happy about, or it was a motivating factor that really, really makes you want to act because you don't want that thing to happen again, right? So we're going to write about the character using familiar elements of your own life. Remember, the character, not you, but we're going to use the elements of your own life. So first of all, what's the character's background? And of course, the background is based on things and experiences. So we have to open up some doors that maybe we may not want to open up. But it's time to do it, and that's one of the reasons why this is so therapeutic, because we want to get down. A lot of you heard me talk about peeling back the onion, and it's a great sales technique, but it's also a technique to help you to sell your subconscious, where you want to take the onion and start peeling it back. And the more you peel it back, the more the stinky, smelly stuff comes out, and those vapors and those tears start coming through. But you really want to get down to just the core of it. And the only way you're going to do that is to maybe open some doors that you haven't opened for a while, or have never opened. But what has happened in their life to make them the person they are? And again, we're already talking about them, not talking about you, but what has happened in their life to make them the person they are. And then, were they a child of divorced parents, or were their parents happily married? Might be one of the things that those doors would need to open. We'll also have some experiences. I know I've talked to a lot of folks. We talk about my testimony. testimony, but in other testimonies where people couldn't relate to God as a father because their father was abusive or just not a very, very good role model. And so you had to kind of ferret those things out. But, was there alcoholism? Did you feel like there were abuse? Again, this is going to be something you want to get out there. What has happened in their life to make them the person they are. So you want to relate your events and just put it as if you're writing a story about that person. So get in here. Let's look at the things. Let's look at the experiences, and let's get really, really real with this story. How many sisters or brothers did they have? Where did they attend school? Did they have stability in their life, or did their family move around a lot? I know here in Virginia, a lot of military families, so a lot of moving around. Did they have money? Well, that's one thing. Did they have money? That might work too. But did they have many close friends, or were they a loner? So I know in the military community, you kind of got both. A lot of times when we first came here, people they make friends very quickly, and there's really not an age bracket because they don't know how long they're going to be here. But did they have close friends, or were they a loner? Now, each one of these aspects of the character's life may impact on the person they've become. So again, got to detach this stuff. But yes, it's your history, it's your story, it's your things. But you want to do it in third person again, because each of these aspects of the character's life may an impact on the person they become. So it's going to help us relate back to you. And again, what are the keys? Which doors were opened in their life during this process? You want to talk about the character's failures and successes. You want to explain how they handled any failure they had and how they refused to accept defeat. And again, it's time to go back and really, really look at your life and put it in the concept of this character of, wow, this person went out there and they had these things happen in their life and they made it through that thing. And so it's very, very important to bring that out. You want to tell how the character picked themselves up, dusted themselves off. It's their rocky moment, I call it, and then forged a new path rather than following the same path that had led to the failure. So you want to be sure that you have all that in there, because again, failure is a huge part of learning and moving forward. It's an education. It's not a stopping point. It's just a point of reflection, and then you dust yourself off and you hit on out and you forge a new path rather than following that same one. You found out what didn't work. So failure and success. We want to look at both of these for your character. What happened in your life again, and then place it in the third party sense in this character's story. Then describe their journey to the successes they've experienced, because the journey is so important. You want to list the steps the character took to become, the youngest manager in the company's history. So if that's part of what's happened, you want to put that in there. So you want to list those steps, portray in detail the many awards they received for saving the company money. So all the rewards over the years. I know a lot of folks are like, well, yeah, I had a Salesman of the Year award. Okay, well, give the character. Character got a Salesman of the Year or Salesman of the Quarter or whatever it was. But all the great things that happened in their life, you want to put it in this story. So I know it gets confusing because you're saying you say there, but it's my life. Well, yeah, it is. But again, we have to detach it, because we gotta be able to let the subconscious read this as if it's a great story, and then turn around and tell the subconscious, hey, well, that's my story. So let's portray it out there and let's get it going. Now, whatever it is you want to accomplish, you want to write it down as if it already happened. So we're looking at this in affirmation style. Again, I am creative, I am strong, I have a positive attitude, I have done this, I love this, I am unique, people like me, these types of things. It's the I ams and I haves and I've done these things. And it's important to be as specific as you can when you tell your story. So see the successes you want to experience. Remember, you're writing your success story, and this will help you actually become the successful person you want to be. So when you get to the future things, you want to do them as affirmations. In other words, these things have already happened. You know what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, and that's where we're going with this. So when you're putting it out there, these are the things that happened in this life. And these are the things that you want to happen in yours. Now, where do you see yourself at the end of your story? So, this is in orange because in our A to B for Me strategy, orange is destiny, and that's where you want to be. What's your ultimate goal? The place that will indicate to you that you've achieved success. Other people may call it legacy. Well, what legacy do you want to leave behind? Again, be as specific as you can as to what you want your final destination to be. This is your view of your own future. And I've always loved this quote, live a life that would make you jealous. So let's get creative. Let's don't have, Darren Hardy calls them BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. Live a life that would make you jealous. Put these things out there. I mean, don't limit yourself. That's really where a lot of people go wrong, is limiting beliefs and limiting factors, and you're not allowing yourself to think that you can have these things. And I've said this many times, and we talk a lot about 5 days of you this time of year, towards the end of the year. Our program, it's out there on YouTube if you want to go through it. But one of the things we talk about there is the fact that you just have to put it out there. If you don't put it out there, you'll never get it. You can do anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to be. You just have to put it out there and get the mind to believe it. So don't limit yourself. It's your future. So this is your view of your own future. So let's put it out there. But you got to know where you want to end up with your success story. Now, you may have legacies in different areas, right? You may have financial legacies, you may have social legacies, family legacies. So look at all your different goals and your different areas of life in your circle of life, and get out there and see really what you want to do and what you want to be. Now, along the way to your character's final destination, be sure to include these items. And again, I put the A to B for me graph here because it really is how we get there, right? It's our thoughts, our actions. Our actions turn into habits, and our habits develop our character, and our character develops our destiny. So think about this path as we go through of your growth process and the character's growth process. There was a time when stinking thinking was keeping them from getting anything done, because we know if your thoughts aren't right, if your beliefs aren't there, you dive right into action, and all of a sudden the subconscious gets wacky and it doesn't believe, and things just aren't working right, and you're back right where you started from, or worse, you're sliding back down that foundation. But until you get your thoughts and your actions right, you're not going to be able to create change. And change is only going to happen by getting your habits right. And that's what that big black area is in the middle. It's really a stumbling block in most people's lives, because you can't get those habits, you can't get that change taken care of in your life to get that character developed. And until you get your character developed and get your core values in line, you're not gonna go any further, because that is your limiting factor at that point. And that's why we want to be sure that along the way to your character's final destination, we include these points coming up here. Number one, a roadmap of smaller, specific, and attainable goals leading to the destination. Now, we talked about step goals in our earlier sessions, but measurable goals to gauge the progress. And again, you want to be smart. You want to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, because that's the point. Smaller goals are smaller time frequencies. They always got to be specific. You've got to say specifically what you want, or how do you know if you get there, and B, how are you going to know how to get there? But they have to be attainable. We talked about this before. You can't have these pipe dreams. They have to be attainable in your step goals. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, you just told me I could be whatever I want to be." Well, you can, but really, are you going to be the first person to get to Mars? Well, I guess maybe you could, but but look at your life. Do you have the education? Do you have the background? Do you have the money? Are you going to be able to get there? So be a little bit specific. We were watching some F1 racing, last night in Qatar, would I love to be Lewis Hamilton and be and have won 100 and something F1 races and be making all the kind of money and live the lifestyle he does? Well, yeah, but is that going to happen? No, it's not. So it might be something I might dream about, but it's really not attainable. So be sure that they're attainable and that there's a way to measure them. So your key productive indicators are the best way. And again, if you're not using something like the Phoenix Journal to gauge your weeks and to plan your weeks, then you really need to get with us and get that set up too. So you want to be able that you got your KPIs, key productive indicators, or key actions, and you're getting percentages every week on that, so you can have a way to measure and gauge the progress. Now, did your character know when they had actually reached a particular goal, right? I mean, if you don't have these specific things, how would you know? Did they have a subsequent goal to work toward when that one was reached? So again, step goals. And this is a pretty common one here of common financial goals that we see. In a personal situation, you got a single person. Well, one of their short-term goals might be to complete college and to pay off a car loan or something. And then their intermediate goal might be to take a vacation to Europe, pay off their education loan, or attend graduate school. And then their long-term goal might be to buy a vacation home in the mountains and provide retirement income. And then a married couple is going to be a little bit different with no children. Maybe it's want to take vacations, buy a new car, remodel a home, build a stock portfolio, or buy a retirement home, provide retirement income. But if they have children and they're young, then it's a little bit different, right? Probably a short-term goal would be maybe to increase life insurance in case something happened. They want to make sure that everybody is going to be okay, and then increase investments and accumulate a college fund. So it's based on who you are and where you are, and that's what we're talking about with the character. What was their goal? How do they know when they reached it? And then did they have a subsequent goal? And as you can see in the graphic on the left, sometimes it is a stretch goal. It's not just easy steps. Sometimes you got to take a leap of faith to get up there. So look at these things and let's make sure that we know that they are attainable. Because if that red block, if the bridge between there is too wide, we may need to work on that and get that gap a little bit closer. All right. Well, the reason for writing out your success story in precise ways and with as much detail as you can manage is to see the success that you want for your own life. So that's the whole purpose of this process. And you want to be able to visualize the story in such a way that it's nearly tangible. So this is really one big affirmation. When you look at this project, that's really what it is. It's just a one huge affirmation that we're turning into a story, and that's really all a success story is. But remember, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That's, Napoleon Hill from way back when. I mean, that's just that is core. You've got to get your mind wrapped around it. Got to get the subconscious to buy off on it. And once the subconscious is bought off on it, then the conscious mind can really get to work, because that battle over the conscious and the subconscious mind is really one of the things that keep you at bay and keep you from moving on. So be sure that you're able to visualize the story in such a way that it's nearly tangible. Now, seeing your story with such clarity is going to help you recreate the details in your own life. You should be able to see what your character sees, think what they think, and feel what they feel. Again, clarity is the anti of confusion. So you want to take that clarity puzzle piece and cover up that confusion, and let's fill in this thing so we get it congruent with your life, because you have to have that clarity. You got to have those details. And again, in this story, you have to see what your character sees, you have to think what your character thinks, and you got to feel what your character feels. So be clear, get clarity in there and get the detail in there. Now, I'm going to do a real quick sample success story for you. It's very, very brief. Want yours to be a lot more detail in life, but this is just a very, very simple sample success story for you, so you can kind of get some kind of idea of where we want to go with this. There was a young woman named Marie. And as an only child, her parents encouraged her to try new things. She played a musical instrument, but she always wanted to dance. So here, Marie, she probably, her parents encouraged her to do new things, but they obviously maybe pushed her in the direction of musical instrument when what she really wanted to do was dance. And even though she did well in school, she didn't do as well as her parents had hoped. Still, they loved her. They doted on her until she was nearly 12. And at that point, even though they tried to hide it from her, she heard her parents argue more and more as time went on. So she knew that she was really, really trying to do what they wanted to do, but she always felt like she wasn't quite good enough. Even though they doted on her, she heard them behind the scenes arguing. And on her 13th birthday, her parents' divorce was finalized, and she was devastated, and her faith in her parents and who she thought she was shaken. So again, obviously, this is was a real life event in someone's life, but now it's turned into Marie's story. As the girl grew up, she wondered if she was the reason her parents divorced, and we see this many times in these cases. She made it a point to excel in school, thinking that her parents might get back together if only her grades were better. So she went out, she really excelled. Not really so much for her, but she probably just needed to dive herself into something, but she really wanted to excel because she really thought that she was the reason. She wasn't good enough for them, and they were arguing over her. What did they do wrong? And so she wanted to make sure that her grades were better. And as hard as she tried, her parents never reconciled. So she always felt like that was her burden. She threw herself into her education, but she hesitated to become involved in a personal relationship herself. Again, a lot of time, broken families, it's very, very difficult for that not to carry on. So it's one of the things that happened in Marie's life. But she went on to graduate at the top of her class in law school. Prior to education, she was hired by a large law firm in Virginia, and within 12 years, she had become a partner in the firm. Okay, so now what we've done is we've gone from really more of a real life situation. This is what had happened in the actual life, and then this is what's going to happen. So she's not going to go, she went on to graduate at the top of her class. Prior to graduation, she was hired by a large firm in Virginia, and within 12 years, she had become a partner in the firm. So these are the affirmations for the things that are going to happen in the future. Right before becoming a partner in the law firm, Marie took a chance on love. She began dating Dan, a college professor, and they dated for a year and then became engaged. Again, these are all future events, things that she wants to happen in her life, and so she's affirming that these things will happen. And although there are still times when she recalls her parents' fights from her childhood, she has stepped beyond those doubts, and she and Dan will be married by the end of the year. Just a way of expressing what happened very, very briefly in the life. And again, I want yours to be much more detailed, much longer in length. But go through and pick out these things, and you can see that what our subconscious can pick up on is the fact that back here, it wasn't her. None of it was her fault. And how did she overcome all this? Is she went out there and she just said, "Hey, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get to work." And so she was great in school. She dove herself into education, pulled herself out of it, became very, very successful, found love, and really, even though she recalls the things that happened, she now realizes that they weren't her fault. So she stepped beyond those doubts. So just a very, very brief example of what you should be doing. But again, remember to use concrete words when writing your success story. Write in the past tense so your mind can begin to see the story as a reality. And then it's already happened to one person, and it can happen to you too. And again, you read a lot of stories about successful people, but it's very, very hard for you to wrap yourself around the fact that, well, that could happen for me. But if you write this story so close to your past and then include your own goals and the things you want to do in there, it becomes really a lot easier for you to step in, for your subconscious to take a hold of this and say, hey, yeah, that same thing happened to us. So, yeah, this could happen to us in the future. So that's the purpose of writing your own success story. Now, learning how to write your own success story, it can be therapeutic. Not only can it help you to see the potential you have for being a success, but it can also help you put down on paper things from the past that may be holding you back. Now, we're talking about all the things below the surface here, right? I mean, the only thing you're allowing, most of you, most times in life, we only allow people to see the stuff that's above the surface, right? But there's this more of it down below the surface, and that's why we want to go back and open these doors. We want to go back and look at the things in the past, and we want to peel that onion back and be sure we get all these things out because you need to reconcile these things. You do not need to carry these things any longer in your life. Let's reconcile them. Let's complete those contracts of whatever happened in the past, and let's move forward. And I tell you, the bottom line is yes, you can, right? I mean, you can have the success you desire in every area of your life. I don't care. It's career, financial, relationships, social, mental, physical, spiritual. You can have success in every area of your life. If you need to go back to school, maybe you need to learn a new skill, or maybe you just need to refresh your knowledge. Now, there are some other things you may need to do, some action steps that you need to do. This isn't all about a vision board. There's going to have to be some action involved. So you may have to go back to school, learn a new skill, or refresh your knowledge based on what your goals are going to be. And perhaps you've been on a stay-at-home mom, and now all the children are in school or have moved on. You have more time away from the children, so you can reach for the things that you put off. So there are different phases, different seasons. We talked about this with Jim Rohn, the different seasons of life. And maybe you're at a season now where you can actually do things and do things differently. So don't just put things down there as things that you haven't been able to do, because you can do this. Absolutely. Yes, you can. Now, regardless of whatever stopped you from achieving your goals in the past, I want you to refuse to allow them to stop you now. Never let success get to your head, and never let failure get to your heart. That's a huge, huge quote that I believe in. A lot of times we get out there, we have a little bit of success, and we just get in our damn way because we just believe that, oh man, I got this. I'm 7 foot tall and bulletproof. Well, no, you're not. So always be real with yourself. Always be real with those around you. But also never let failure get to your heart. Never let it just tear you down. I want you to write a new plan to get past your limitations and make that success story yours. You need to read it often and follow your plan until it becomes your reality. So again, you're reading your goals, you're reading your affirmation. This is one big affirmation. So you want to read it often, follow your plan until it becomes your reality. And I'm telling you what, when it does become your reality, you've got a great book. and you can make money off the story, right? So let's get into this, and let's look at it with a couple of ulterior motives. One is to make sure that you get past these things and get past your limitations and make that success story yours. But the other thing is you have a nice piece of work when it's done, because you went out there and you've made yourself successful. You've overcome these obstacles, and look what you've done. And if you've done these things, you can help other people do these things, and so you can get out there and you can sell the things that you've done, and that's the whole purpose, really, of being of being out here and living a life, is to be able to help other people. And the reason why you had failures is because someone else in your life, or it's going to cross your path, maybe has had those same situations, those same obstacles. And it really is your duty and your destiny to get out there and relay what happened to you and how you overcame it, and help them to do the same thing. So let's really take this thing serious, because the bottom line is, believe you deserve it, and the universe will serve it. I honestly believe this. It's the law of attraction, but you have to get your subconscious on board, and that's why it's thoughts before action, habit, character, and destiny. You have to believe you deserve it, and then the universe will serve it. All right. Well, let's look at some to-dos. Here's what you need to do today. Or if it's Thanksgiving week, which it is now, you need to get on as quickly as you can. But it's time to write your own story of your future self. You've got to get started on it. It's not just gonna happen for you. You can't send it off to Fiverr. You've got to do this one. And describe the type of life you'll be living. So you got some time, maybe during the holidays, start scribing this stuff out, right? Get the pen, get the paper, and let's go. Describe the type of life you'll be living. Describe the person you'll have to become to make that life a reality. So what's going to have to happen for that to happen? So who are you going to have to be? So be sure that you understand this. Again, this might be going back through 5 Days of You as well, which is on our YouTube channel. Maybe you need to go through that. But certainly all the things that we've gone over the last 18 sessions, 19 sessions are there to help you complete this story. And then continue modifying the story until it feels perfect for you. Now, I'm the one who says good is good enough, right? But you have to feel like it's good enough. So keep modifying this until it feels perfect for you. Again, it's probably never going to be perfect. But you can keep changing it and keep working on it. In our program, you really kind of modify these things about every 12 weeks. Honestly, we work on a 12-week year here, so you might be modifying these things. Things change in your life, and your goals change. So you're going to continue modifying it as you go through anyway. And then check your additional resources box if you're in the A to B for Me community, because we've got some surprises in there for you to help you with your story and going on to achieve your goals. And if you're in the program, just reach up again to the additional resources tab in the A to B for Me community, and you'll find them there. And these are what some of them are. First one is a checklist of how to write your success story. Let me go in here and I can pop this up for you so you can see it. That's our affirmation that's coming up. But how to write your success story checklist. This is what it looks like. Kind of help you get through it and maintain it. So get through here and look at these things and make sure that you've got these things covered. And then the next thing that we have for you again are some affirmations. We've got I think 4 of them for the end of the session. Of course, you can go back through and look at all the other affirmations that we've had for each section of each session of overcoming obstacles. So there's a ton of affirmations. A lot of folks are really get hung up on this about these things, and you can go out there and these are yours. You can use these. You can modify them to work for you. I'm not going to go through all 4 of these, but I do want to go through one of my favorite ones, which is my failures are just stepping stones to my success. So let me pull that one up, and we'll read that one. My failures are just stepping stones to my success. Like everyone, I make mistakes and experience failures. However, I embrace these experiences because they help me get closer to my goals and achieve success. Now, in your story, you could say Marie, right? Like everyone, made mistakes and experienced failures. However, she embraced these experiences because they helped her get closer to her goals and achieve success. So see how easy you could put some of these affirmations into your own story. My past mistakes guide me without defining me. I understand that mistakes are the bridge between inexperience and wisdom. Mistakes are the portals to my discoveries. I'm getting to know myself through my mistakes. I know that as long as I am making errors, I am out in the world contributing. My missteps are proof that I'm putting forth effort and trying. So let's redefine what the failures are here. The mistakes I make today are my lessons for tomorrow. I reflect on my errors in order to avoid repeating them in the future. That's reflect, plan, execute. And I learn more through my failures than through my simple successes, since they are gained without a challenge. Having faith in myself and in my abilities is a reward to my soul. I can only reward myself if I look beyond my mistakes I can only move forward once I look beyond my failures. To remain positive, I view mistakes as only small setbacks. I understand that it is human nature to make mistakes. I achieve success with the knowledge that I gain from my failures. And today, I remind myself that the biggest blunder I can ever make is letting fear of a mistake stop me. Experience is the name I choose to give to my mistakes. My failures are just stepping stones on my road to success. And again, utilize these affirmations. That's what they're here for. Put them in your journal, read them. Uh, so, self reflection questions on every affirmation for this one is: how can I use failures in a positive way? What lessons have I learned from my mistakes? And what can I do daily to make my mistakes useful? So get out there, take a look at the affirmations. Go ahead and be sure that you do the self-reflection questions, because they're here for you to help you get rolling, and we can utilize these in our A to B for Me strategy sessions as well. Well, that's all, folks. We have achieved it. Yay! Congratulations. You made it through all 20 sessions. Now it's time to get to work. And my closing thoughts to you are: may you overcome all obstacles, achieve your goals, and create the life you desire. Well, all right. Well, thanks for attending, and I want just have an awesome life. Hope that you reach out to us, keep in touch with us, or be a part of the program, and let us continue helping you through your journey, because we're here to keep you moving in the direction of your dreams. That's the only reason why A to B for Me exists. And if you need some help, again, schedule a one-on-one strategy session with me. They're complimentary. The first one is A to B for me.info//15 with Don. Get out there and set that up for yourself. Again, towards the end of the year, my schedule's getting tight, but I'm here to help you, so let's find some time to get it done. If you want to go back and get a recap of overcoming obstacles or any of our other sessions out there, we've got all of our Thrive Thursdays out there. We've got some old Wham Wednesdays out there. We've got a lot of maybe a few deep dives. I'm not sure how many we give away, but there's a few of them out there on our YouTube channel, A to B for Me, or you can listen to us on Anchor FM. You can download it. Do it while you're jogging or working out or driving or whatever, walking, whatever you're doing. You can check things out by listening to us on Anchor FM, A to B for Me, and then of course Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, all right. Well, that is it for us. We are complete. As we can see there, black screen, we are over. So that is it for now. I'm going to hop back in here real quick with you and say goodbye to you. I hope you have really enjoyed this series. Again, 20 weeks. So we really have put a lot into it for you. Hope that you can go back, and it's something you can go back and review and really grow from, because that's the only reason why we do it. Now, coming up in the next 4 weeks, as we end up on the live version of this, we're at Thanksgiving right now. So it's Thanksgiving week. And we're heading into December. So we're going to be doing the Millionaire Mindset starting next week. Look for that coming up, where we're getting it all queued up as we speak. So we'll have 4 weeks of Millionaire Mindset taking us right into Christmas. And then we may actually do 5 days of you the week between Christmas and New Year's, because I've been having a lot of people ask me about that. So we may go ahead and pull that off the week between Christmas and New Year's for you. But it's always on YouTube if you want to go up and get a previous version of it. So 5 days of you is up there as well. But anyway, have a great week, and be sure and check out our Thrive Thursday. We got a special one coming up tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day for you. So be sure you get out there and see that Thrive, and then just stay tuned, and we're here to help you. So reach out to us so we can do that. But keep moving in the direction of your dreams. And we'll talk to you later.